What's aka Giant the R&B Bully, aka Andre Marcellus. Let's have a conversation about these passport bros. It's not looking good. You know what I mean? Bam, we are live. We are live. For those of you that want to come in and speak your piece, tell me your thoughts, and let's just have a conversation about this tragedy. Passport bros are under attack. Yes, they are. They are under attack. And they're getting unalived. Let's just get right to it. They are being unalived in places like Brazil, places like Dominican Republic, Egypt, and Thailand. Now, this has been an ongoing thing with passport bros. They're going to other cities and other countries, pardon me, and looking for what I would like to say is a good woman, because they're feeling as though that women in America are, for lack of a better word, tainted and somewhat just on this modern woman thing that's really got them like out of their minds. So they're searching for a good woman, right? And these are people. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Harlem, New York. The link is in there if you want to come in and chop it up. But yeah, I mean, so that's why you've seen those pictures that's been on YouTube lately of the AI, and it got the guy who's like running for the plane, and it's a bunch of plus size women that are chasing them and trying to grab them. You know what I'm saying, to keep them from going. So it's turned into a bad thing for them, because now they're going to these places and they're getting robbed, they're getting drugged, beat to death, and just where it's just not going good for them at this point. So, with that being the case, I might have a guest coming. We spoke earlier, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, he's a world traveler, and he's been to those places that I just mentioned. So I wanted to get his feedback on how he views it and what was his experience. You know what I mean? Because I talk to him all the time, and he said people don't realize that it's not like what's being portrayed. Now, he just said this like not too long ago, and recently just came back from Brazil. Now, he didn't have this experience of what the passport bros are facing now. So he's still saying that this is not the case. He's saying that, maybe it's how he does his thing. And I really want him to explain it to you so you can get a view of, for those that still want to try to go and do what you do, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, it's kind of bad for them now. It's been all in the news that, a certain amount, I can't remember, I think it was like 8 people in 2023 that have been unalived over there. So this is not good. So with that being said, I'm going to play you this video. We're going to watch that. And this guy is going to explain to you a situation that he knows about. So let's get to that, and then I'm going to come back.
A black dude that didn't look very old. Okay, so a passport bro was found dead in Cebu City. I saw this on another YouTube channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm sure anybody that's subscribed to my channel probably knows who that is. He's pretty big. He's got like 50,000 subs. Anyways, so there was a black dude that didn't look very old that he just reported on was found dead in his rented room in Cebu City. I don't know if it was like he was just renting a room and he, lived with other people or what the deal was exactly. But he was found dead in his rented room in Cebu City, actually way back in October, which is like 4 months ago. But I think it's a good thing to make mention of that, when you're over here, you want to be in contact with other people, whether you're estranged with your family, whether you have friends out here, whether you have a girlfriend or a new extended family out here. It's good to be in contact with other people. You are 8,000 miles from home. There is sometimes foul play that can go on and stuff like that. And you definitely want to have a friend, have a confidant in your own country, have someone that you talk with on a regular basis. We don't really know what happened. It says that there was a cut on the back of his neck, and they said that maybe he had fallen. But you have to understand that he was an American, I think maybe from Michigan or something. And when you're not in your home country, perhaps it won't be as aggressively investigated. And I think, that we need to try to get to the bottom of this, as Calvin had said, and we need to really make sure that we follow up on this, because as foreigners that are very, very, very far from home, we need to stick together and get the word out here. It sounds a little bit foul play-ish. I don't know that they're going to do a thorough United States level investigation on this. I don't know. I guess the guy was like an aspiring writer. He looked like a younger dude, or like he might have been in his 40s or something. I don't really know what exactly went on, but I think us passport bros or foreigners living in foreign countries need to stick together. And if one of us, comes up dead or missing or something, I think it's our duty to use our reach, however big or small, to get the word out and to do our own investigation. I'm not trying to solve a murder just like the other guy isn't, or a random slip and fall, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, this deserves to be looked into. I would certainly want it to be if it was myself, and I think he deserves that. This happened in October. The housekeeper smelled a foul odor coming from a room or something. They hadn't seen him since he was waiting on a food delivery. I don't know. You can watch the video on the original channel. The guy's much bigger than me. He's already got tons of views. But yeah, whatever the case may be, the real moral of the story is watch yourself in a foreign land. Just, God forbid this was, a murder or something, something terrible. And it wasn't just a random slip and fall. A 40-year-old just fell and just cut the back of his neck. Doesn't sound very likely to myself. And you need to be very careful. Again, like I said in previous videos, don't let people know your exact address. Don't mess with married women. Don't go into debt. Don't borrow money from people. Keep people at a distance until you trust them, and that includes other foreigners. Just be careful. You're not home. If you do come up dead or missing, you will not get the thorough investigation that you would get in a California or a Michigan or a New York. this is a foreign land. They mainly are concerned with their own kind, as we are in America, and there's nothing wrong with that, and they are very kind, nice people, but I feel like maybe this thing got overlooked a little bit and got kind of just, swept under the rug, and I don't think that that's appropriate at all. And if I can bring the tiniest little bit of 100 views of attention to this, or whatever the hell this video can get, I'm happy to do that, because I think we all need to stick together as quote-unquote passport bros. I'm not black, but I'm a foreigner from America, and I don't really look at anyone as any different because of skin color. I'm a guy that's a younger guy that got his passport that's traveling solo, that could have easily been me. So I definitely think it deserves attention, and white, black, Asian, Mexican, we're all passport bros in the end. So yeah, this dude came up missing in October in his rented room in Cebu City, and anybody that has any information, I think Calvin said to contact him or something. I think just mind yourself in a foreign country. Don't mess with anyone's wife. Don't go into debt. Don't give out your fucking address. Don't let people know how much money you have. Be careful when you're pissing people off. You can get touched. Not saying that that's what happened here, but not saying that that's not what happened here. I have no clue, and no one does. But he's got a much bigger channel. He brought attention to this. I felt like this deserved a little video of me bringing attention to this as well. So, be careful. Enjoy the Philippines. It's a beautiful place. Very friendly, beautiful women. Can be a complete paradise for you. But you are not home, and there is danger everywhere. Hopefully this wasn't a foul play situation. I'm leaning towards the side that it could have been, although I know nothing about the case. So hopefully something comes out about this, and we get some type of concrete answers for this man's family, and condolences to his family. And that's all I got on this one.
All right, guys, you heard that story. And that's tragic. You know what I mean? That's absolutely tragic that these guys are going over there in hopes of, some are in hopes of finding, love, I'll say. But, the other ones, they probably over there on some goofy, just trying to smash chicks and all of that. But as of right now, it doesn't look like it's panning out. It just doesn't look good. So just heard from my guest. He should be popping in a second. But what do you guys think? I want you to put it in the comments after the show is over, or whatever the case may be. But I want to know, man, this is dangerous. And just for the record, passport bros are not just black men. We call them bros, but females are calling each other bros now. So it's, Caucasians. It's Asian men. They're passport bros just as well. And it's coming up really bad for them, man. And the thing that trips me out is, the women over here, they got a lot of influences, social media, and everybody's showing their perfect life. So the women are, trying to act so independent that it's really messing up them ever finding someone that's really willing to love them truly at this point, to love them for them. So they're seeking other means. And it was popular for a minute until until they start, getting popped off. I don't know how popular it will be now. That's kind of like, I don't know. But at the end of the day, you guys should pray for them. You really should. I'm laughing, but at the end of the day, this is a serious thing. And I think even the United States put out something saying like, hey, you be careful going over there now. Now, whenever that happens, you have to take this serious. And like I say, I have a friend, hopefully he should be coming in, and I tell him all the time, because, if he comes in, he's going to tell you in detail how he does it. But he would tell me he's going to Airbnbs, right? And I'm saying to myself, Airbnb? Because if I'm going on vacation, the vacations we went on, me and my wife, children, stuff like that, we stay at a nice hotel type of thing, all inclusive. We don't have to worry about food, drinks, none of that, and it's safer. It's safer. And I would always ask him, like, what makes you? And he goes dolo by himself. And I'm like, what makes you feel that comfortable staying in an Airbnb in a whole nother country? And especially a country like Thailand and all of that. That's just like, I mean, every country has their own set of rules. So it's like, if you haven't researched those rules and things of that nature, and then you just take your crazy self over there, who knows what's going to happen to you? Hey, Jamaican beauty, who knows what's going to happen to you? So it's like, yeah, it's a travel warning right now. Yeah. Yeah, how New York say it's a travel warning right now for Jamaica and the Bahamas. Bahamas used to be a big deal. Like, people would go over there. We never even thought about, okay, something's going to happen to you in the Bahamas. Really think about that. Okay, here's my guest. Let me bring him in, and we're going to chop it up, and he's going to give you the inside scoop. What's happening, Pimpin'?
Hey, hello.
Hey, how you doing, man?
All right, can you hear me okay?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I was working in my yard, so I didn't catch the topic. I know that you prepped me ahead of time, but I forgot. What's the topic? What are we talking about?
Passport bros are under attack.
Passport
That's,
broken under attack. Okay.
yeah, that's the title.
Okay.
And I wanted to have you on.
Hmm.
First of all, let me introduce you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a friend of mine and business partner, associate, whatever you want to call it, Elliot Holden, the urban guitar legend. And the urban guitar legend is a world traveler. World traveler. He's been to many different places. What's some of the places you've been to?
Uh, Thailand, Philippines, Kenya, Malaysia, Egypt,
Mm,
Brazil, uh,
mm.
Germany, Amsterdam. Um,
Dominican Republic too, right?
Dominican Republic, Paris, Italy.
Okay.
I,
So,
mm,
so with that being said, break down for the people, because I was telling them before you came on that I would always, when you say that you were going to these places and you would tell me you staying in the Airbnb, I'm like, dude, you stay in the Airbnb? And it just didn't feel safe to me. So tell them your experience of when you go to these different places
mm.
and how you do it for safety or whatever the things that you do to make sure that you're safe.
Right. Well, first, let me make sure we're talking. But let me make sure we're talking the same language and that we're defining the same things. You said you didn't feel that Airbnb was safe. What don't you feel is safe about Airbnb? First of all.
Because I'm used to, I was just telling the viewers, I'm used to when I'm going on a vacation with my
Mm.
wife or whatever, we're staying at the resort. We're staying like on the beach type thing where it's security and this, that, and the third and
Mhm.
all of that.
Okay.
So to me, I don't think I would feel comfortable
Hmm.
taking my wife and we're staying in an Airbnb in the city limits.
Okay.
And maybe hold on one second.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. So I mean, okay, I'm tell you this situation real fast.
Mhm.
Okay, we were on vacation in St. Thomas,
Mhm.
and we had the kids, and we were like downstairs. I think we were having dinner or something like that, and we were speaking to this guy that worked there. His name was Rohan. He was like a server or something like that. And he was saying, yeah, you guys need to come out. You know, this, that, and the third. You know, and come. You know, it's a nice little like after spot, like not too far. You see what I'm saying? So, he disappeared like after that, which made me feel kind of funny about the fact that he wanted us to come. He told us where it was and all of that, and he was like, you know, you can meet me there, and this, that, and the third. But something about it just didn't seem right. And then later, he was like calling, like, come on. So I'm like, no. See, I'm from Chicago again. I say, you know, the viewers always know I reference that all the time. I don't fall for the okie doke. Felt like the okie doke to me. So just like, you know, you were just asking earlier, why did I think staying in the Airbnb? I feel like it's the okie doke. Now, that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to stay in the hood in Brazil. You know, I don't want to stay in downtown in Brazil. In an Airbnb. Now, in a hotel, different. I look at that as different. Now, you give me your perspective.
Well, the reason I asked you the question was to find out what, like I said, to get your perspective, how you were framing safety or whatnot. The example you just gave didn't have anything to do with an Airbnb, but that's okay. But it doesn't necessarily have to. But I was trying to gauge, you know, get some sensibility of where you were coming from with this whole safety and Airbnb thing.
Right.
Seems like you had a situation and it seemed kind of shady, so you just avoided it, which is pretty much what you would do any place. You know, I mean, again, that particular instance you gave didn't have anything to do with Airbnb.
Well, you don't think so because you haven't had an altercation yet.
Who said?
You haven't had a situation. You ain't been hit upside the head or drugged or nothing. So you find it to be just fine. But I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that feels like that's kind of like odd to go on vacation, right?
Let me ask a question, not to be argumentative, but have you been hit upside the head or drugged?
No, because I won't go to those places.
Okay, again, but let's just circle back again. The example you gave had nothing to do with the Airbnb. It was somebody that invited you to some function or some outing or whatever, and you seemed shady to you, so you declined to go.
Right.
Again, that is something you would do almost any place you would go. So I have not been hit upside the head, and you have not been hit upside the head.
Right. And thank God I haven't.
But basically what you're trying to say is you feel like if you stay in an Airbnb, you're more likely to get hit upside the head or something physical bad to happen to you.
Right. And somebody in the chat just said the same thing. An Airbnb may be cheaper, but she's siding with me. It's safer.
Yeah. Okay. So to comment on what she just said, Airbnb may be cheaper. It may be, or it may not be. Oftentimes in certain countries, hotels just as cheap as Airbnb. So, I mean, so we're not really talking about price here, and we're not. I guess she may have brought up price for another reason. People have their different reasons for staying in an Airbnb versus a hotel. But I'm here to tell you that in most of the places I just mentioned, a hotel is about the same price. Sometimes cheaper, it just depends. So price is not really a determining factor in some of the places I just mentioned. Philippines, Thailand, Africa, whatever. Back to what I'm saying though, about being hit upside the head. I just want to be clear. So you're basically saying that you feel like if you're in an Airbnb, you're more likely to be hit upside the head or be robbed or something like this nature, right?
Right.
Okay. I mean, I respect your thought, you know, your opinion about it. On unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but the fact of the matter is that probability is not very likely.
Well,
You
okay.
may,
Well, I got to cut you off right there. Let me just say this then. Then why is America saying that? Hey, be careful going to these places because it was like about 8 people just got unalived in 2023 on some passport bro type stuff. So you, in my opinion, you have to do some type of, protocol or research to know that where you're going to stay at is safe. Because obviously it wasn't safe for them.
So you asked me a question. You asked me a question, but you followed it with a statement. You said, why are people saying that certain places are dangerous, right? That's the first question you asked.
Right.
Then you said something about people being deleted on some passport bro something.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to the first question. Why are people saying some places are unsafe for this? I don't know who those people are, and I can't tell you directly why. I can tell you that you can go to the State Department website and you can look at travel advisories into places you're going to go to. I would say probably take them with a grain of salt, the travel advisories, but they are there for you. So to answer your question, I don't know the people you're speaking about, and I don't know who's saying what's unsafe, but we do have travel advisories that people can look at. So that's the first thing. The second thing about passport bro deletion, I don't know a lot about passport bros per se. I know about the movement. I know what it is, but let me put it to you like this. I'll try to frame it in a way that everybody can probably understand or somewhat relate to. There is an incident in Mexico where a young lady and her 2 friends passed away from carbon monoxide poisoning.
Right.
Okay. All right. Made big news here. Made very big news here. Okay. You can do a quick Google search to find out how many people die of carbon monoxide poisoning in the United States versus Mexico.
Right.
The number's going to be more.
Right.
Also there was an incident at a very well-known resort. I forget the name of it. Some people passed away from carbon monoxide, but it was a very well-known resort. I just can't think of the name of it. Clearly it's not as interesting as, something nefarious happening or something bad happening in Mexico. It just sounds, I don't know. It's a news story. It's a news cycle, but the data doesn't support. If you're afraid of something happening about carbon monoxide poisoning, you can buy those portable carbon monoxide, things take with you. But the likelihood of something of that happening to you is more likely here,
Right.
That's just the statistics. So your fear of Airbnbs, I'm not saying it's completely unwarranted. I'm saying that it doesn't rationally, it doesn't make rational sense. It's possibility and probability. Things are possible.
Well, I'm not more so worried about no carbon. I ain't worried about the carbon monoxide. I'm worried about.
I'm using that same point. You ever heard of somebody called Natalie Holloway?
No.
And there's been other instances. This had nothing to do with passport bros. Something bad happened to a young lady. Okay. Bad things do happen to people, even when they come to visit the U.S. Yeah. It happens. It happens. Let's just look at the statistics of it, though. Whatever 4 or 5 people you're mentioning, whatever circumstances, it's I don't know their particular circumstances and what they put themselves into. I'm not sure if they did or didn't. I don't know the situation.
Right.
Without even knowing the situation, let's just go by the sheer numbers. Your fear would be at best unwarranted. They had an issue at an airplane where the door flew off on a Supermax or whatever, a Boeing 740. Okay. Yeah. That's possible. It's not likely, and it happened because the door was installed incorrectly, or they did a plug where there were normally was a door.
Right.
My point is I don't like to fly. I have a fear of flying.
Right. Me too.
Okay, well, your chances of something happening to you on an airplane is 1 in 14 million.
Right.
Your chances of something happening to you in an automobile is 1 in 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Which is more likely to happen?
I mean, the obvious.
Right. Okay.
But at the end of the day, this is America saying, "Hey, be careful over there."
You should be careful anywhere.
Yeah, you should, but they never said that before.
I don't know who they. No. I just explained on your show that people can go to the State Department website and look at travel advisories.
Yeah, but they're not doing it. Elliot, they're not doing it though. They're getting unalived. Listen to what you said. They're getting unalived. That's a real thing. They're dying. Let's just keep it a buck. They're dying. So it's nothing you can say to me.
People are getting unalived every day.
Yeah, that's fine, but they're getting unalived going looking for holes. I mean, it's stupid. It doesn't make sense.
Well, then I suggest people when they travel, they do their due diligence and they take heed of who are they around, because
but explain to the people how you do it. I want them to know how you do it.
I'm not a travel. Okay, how I do it is the way anybody would do it normally if they were going to Wally World with their family. Okay. Or they're going any place else.
Okay.
You would. Okay. Let me put it. Let me put it this way.
So, do you put something? Behind the door of the Airbnb?
No. Let's do it. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way.
Do you do anything precautions?
It's not about Airbnbs.
I'm just saying.
I know.
Anywhere. I do it at hotels.
I know, but listen. The conversation that you're having is not about Airbnbs. Right. It's about passport bros being deleted, right? Yes. So that's the conversation that you started having, and it's about people looking for 304s, right?
Right.
Okay. So let's
start.
I'm
bringing it on Airbnbs. That's what I'm doing.
I know, but let's frame it in a way where people can be able to digest this.
Okay, come on.
And you live in Atlanta, and a lot of your viewers live in Atlanta, but they can apply this to any city they live in. Supposing somebody came to visit Atlanta from another country, okay? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's just say Singapore, okay? Your friend comes to Atlanta from Singapore, he visits, and the first thing he tells you when you say, "How was your trip?" he says, "Man, all I saw was a bunch of 304s."
Right.
And a bunch of homeless people.
Right.
The first thing you would probably ask this person is, "Where were you?"
Right.
Because you're not in any part of Atlanta that I even know about.
Right.
Because you don't even know where the 304s are in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not there. Yeah, so 99.9999999% of Atlanta is not by the Greyhound bus station, Garnett City train station, Magic City. And I'm not calling them out. I'm just saying that 99.99999% is not there. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's everything else that's Atlanta. It's Buckhead. It's the West End. It's McDonough. It's, it's all this. Okay. So for that person to come from Singapore and to end up there,
right?
You won't just accidentally end up there from Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. You're not just going to stop at Garnett Station. You'd have to know about it.
Right.
And you would have to, go there. Now, not saying anything bad's going to happen I don't want people to think if they go there, something bad's going to happen. No. But we're talking about meeting nefarious people that have ill intentions and putting yourself in harm's way.
Right.
The same thing would apply in any country. So it's not about an Airbnb. It's not about a particular country. It's that people hang around crazy people in every country, including the U.S. got some of the most nefarious people on the planet.
Well, I should have said it this way. Maybe I shouldn't have said Airbnb.
I mean, you know, I understand what you're saying. You feel like because you're in an Airbnb, you're going to have less security and people are going to come.
Fact.
Okay. I get your fact, but you're a black man, right?
Yep. All day long.
What most people of color need to realize is when they go places, first of all, 80% of the planet, you're going to fit right in because you're a person of color.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody knows any different, whether it's Dominican Republic, Brazil, plenty of places. Secondly, right. Because you're a person of color, more people are afraid of you. They would have more reason to be afraid of you.
Well, why weren't they afraid of them 8 dudes that got unalived?
Okay, I don't know the situations. I can't speculate on it, but assuming it's the way that you said, the way that you kind of framed it,
mm-hmm.
If you go messing around with people that have nefarious intentions, male or female,
mm-hmm.
I mean, and you've been warned that people here do these kind of things, but you seek out those kind of people, then
I mean, this is okay. Okay, I'm gonna tell you another incident I heard about. The other incident was the guys from over here were getting on dating apps, and they would be talking to the girl, get there, the girl would set them up, and God knows what, of course, what would end up happening to them. Now, all I'm saying is this. I'm just saying that, okay, me, myself, I would rather, just based off my experience, because I've been to multiple places, different countries, the same thing, just like you, but I've always stayed in a hotel, and I've always felt comfortable. So what I was basically saying as far as the Airbnb is, I would feel uncomfortable because I know nothing about this particular space. And then on top of that, if I'm a passport bro and I'm going over there to hook up, it just seems like you putting your ass out there clearly for anything to happen. I'm just looking at it from just a common sense perspective.
I'm not
putting your ass out there.
I'm not arguing with you because I don't know anything about passport, bro. So I don't know what they do or how they do. But I was having a conversation about Airbnbs. Okay, so but back to that point, if a person is deleted or something happens to them, do you have the information to tell your viewers whether it happened in an Airbnb or whether it happened in an apartment or did it happen in a hotel? Do you even know that?
Yeah, I read it, but I should have put it up because I knew a very intelligent guy like you would have challenged me on that to have that information. So that's my bad. But yeah,
they all happen in Airbnbs.
No, not all of them.
Okay, well then there it is right there for everybody. Let's take Airbnb off the table because Airbnb is just an app. It's just like Uber. Would you take an Uber or would you take a cab? You probably take an Uber. Because not so much that it's cheaper sometimes, it's just more convenient. You can get an Uber anywhere. You can get an Airbnb anywhere. So I don't care if a person gets an Airbnb or an apartment, doesn't matter. But the premise that Airbnbs would be more inherently dangerous, I was just saying that right there would be flawed for all the reasons that I was talking about.
Right.
So, but the conversation about passport bros and all this, I have no idea. I don't know any those people. I don't know how they move. I don't know what they're doing. But normally for me to travel to a place, you learn something new. And a lot of things you learn is, for one, that things aren't as dangerous as you thought, or people have these ideas about things and they don't know. They've never been there. And they're probably not gonna go. They're going to report on a news story that had something to do with somebody that was into drugs or doing something nefarious or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then Airbnb looks bad.
Right.
Because something happened at it, or the Hilton looks bad because something happened at a Hilton.
Right.
But, like I say, to travel, to meet different people and to see how people are living, it'll blow your mind because you should you should be learning something, hopefully.
Right. Right. Well, like we had this conversation before. Most people that travel aren't going. They're not there to learn nothing. They're there to take pictures, go to the club, do the nightlife thing. That's why they're there. It's very few people that are there to survey the land and see the sights, and you know,
I
it's
was
just not what they're doing in 2024. Go ahead.
well.
Go ahead. I just got to do something real fast.
I will say it like this: even if a person's there for the nightlife or whatever, that's fine too. The likelihood of the things people worry about is almost next to none. You'd almost have to go way out of your way. Even if you came to Atlanta and said, "Hey, I want to come to Atlanta because I want to go to Magic City." Nothing's happening at Magic City other than what people know happens at Magic City. Other than that, nothing's really happening. You'd have to go way out of your way to engage with some people that you didn't know that were. You just have to go way out of your way. It's a lot of effort. It's not that easy. It's not easy. So, but sometimes things do happen. Even you weren't looking for trouble and trouble happened to you. It's possible.
Right.
But as far as fears, I mean, you're welcome to be afraid of this, that, or the third. But the statistics, they are what they are.
I mean, I'm not afraid. I was just making the fact because, like we discussed, behind the scenes, just we having conversations.
Yeah,
I'd rather go to the hotel, the resort, whatever the case may be. That's what I just would rather do.
Do it. No problem. I mean, sometimes I'll get a hotel. It just depends on, are you going to stay there for a month or are you going to stay there for a week? So, I mean, yeah.
Right. I just really wanted you to just give the people like a different perspective, because it's people in the chat now saying, like DJ Reckham said, the locals are waiting to prey on unexpected travelers, period.
Well, let me pose this question. Well, first, the locals from where? Okay, because I just rattled off 10 different countries. But secondly, everybody ask themselves a question. When you sit around and think about Atlanta, or wherever you live at, do you feel like the locals are just sitting around waiting for travelers to prey on them? Just asking.
I mean, if you really want to know the truth, I believe there's a group of locals that, yes, they're trying to hit a lick on you. Yes, they are. They're waiting on you to get off the plane. I believe it.
Okay. Well, we can talk about the anecdotal. We can say that, okay, there's some people, but I'm having a conversation about, I hope you are too, about the greater good.
Yeah, and look at Pitbull Pimp and say, shit, resort all day long.
This is just
what people think. I mean, I don't want to make it like it's me saying this. We've had this conversation, of course, behind the scenes, but I mean, I know that I'm not like 1% of people saying, hey, I want to go to the resort.
I'm not. First of all, let me say something. I'm not even arguing the point. I mean, you want to go to resort, go to resort. For all I care, I don't care. I mean, I would. I went to a wedding. Okay, let's put it this way. I went to a wedding last year. Okay, in Cancun. Everybody knows where Cancun, Mexico is.
Right.
And the wedding party, the wedding person that I was going to her wedding, everybody was going to be staying on a resort. They were staying at the Hyatt Zilara. Okay, in Cancun. That resort cost $600 a night. And most people were going to stay there for the week. So it's going to be about $3,600 for the week. Okay. I personally, I didn't pay that. I stayed in an Airbnb outside of the resort area.
Right.
And I think I paid $600 for the week. Not a night, for the week.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah.
And I think I showed you the pictures. We don't have the pictures here to show, but we show the pictures. The point of the matter is this. At the all-inclusive resort, They got free food, free drinks. They had people waiting on them hand and foot. They had activities planned for them.
Right.
You can still go on to the hotel zone without staying in a resort, but you can't go into the all-inclusive resort unless you pay for a day pass.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so you just have to ask yourself, was that $3,600 for that all-inclusive resort? You know, it was worth it. It was worth it to them.
Right.
To me, not so much, because, you know, I wanted to visit the Tulum ruins. I wanted to just eat at some more localized places that were, you know, and I only wanted to spend $1,000 for that week.
Right.
I didn't want to
You on
spend
a budget.
$3,600.
Right.
You know, so to each his own. I mean, you know, resorts cost money. Some are cheaper. You know, just do the math. If it works for you, do the resort. It really doesn't matter. But to say that to say that Airbnbs are inherently more dangerous or something, that would be that would be irresponsible for me to say that. But I do understand where people are coming from. I mean,
no, I mean, because you have a different experience, and that's precisely why I wanted you to tell the people your experience.
Yeah,
See,
I mean,
you haven't had a problem with it, but obviously these passport bros are having a hell of a time.
Again, I can't speak to passport, but I just speak to anybody traveling. You know, do your due diligence. Go to a place and you see for yourself, and you don't rely on a guy on YouTube for me to tell you.
Right.
It's been my experience that people are often wrong about most things because they just never been there, and they just, you know, they just don't know.
Right.
So people are generally fearful about most things they don't know about, and that's really what it amounts to.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming on. I know you say you had to do something, you know, you was busy, but man, I appreciate you coming on and giving your perspective.
Well, I'm doing yard work, but is that it? You want to kick me off now?
No, no,
Are your members complaining? Are they like, get this
no,
guy
no,
off? He's not giving us any juicy stuff we want to hear about.
no. Everybody's cool. You know, everybody's just basically from what I'm seeing, they're all for the resort. Harlem, New York says yes, they are. In Mexico, the police are crooked, so they're waiting as well.
Again, I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna try to say it in the best way I can say it. Well, let me say this. Let me big up to a lot of countries I just mentioned, because let me say it like this from my personal experience.
Okay.
You know, you're treated pretty decently. You know, as it doesn't hurt being an American. But here's one thing I've noticed. As a general aside, foreigners going to another country, people from other countries are more concerned with knowing that you had a good experience with their country.
Right.
That's a general rule. Like, it's people don't want you to have a bad experience.
Right.
You know, people are, to say that people are out to harm you is like saying that, you know, there's viruses in the air. Yeah, it's there. Maybe that's a bad analogy. It's just amazing to me how people err on the side of something negative on a country they've never been to.
Right.
And they just say a lot of things, and it's not true. People are very nice in Brazil. People are very nice in Kenya. People are very nice in the Philippines. They're very nice in Thailand. People are very nice to foreigners. You know, they just, and it's not an advantageous thing to cause harm to foreigners or people that visit countries and bring economics or whatever. It's not a good look for somebody to cause problems. People don't want that kind of press in their countries.
Right.
Come on, like after Natalie Holloway, people didn't want to go to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
I think, is that where, I don't know if that's where it happened. I forget. Or Bermuda, wherever it was.
Right. Well, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm traumatized from living on the west side of Chicago, and knowing that we were moving around basically on point 24 hours a day in our own city on our own block. So I can't fathom going to another country and getting relaxed.
Well,
I'm not going to get relaxed.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Absolutely.
Do you think America's like most other countries?
No, of course not.
Do you think it's just a general question? Do you think it's better or worse? Generally.
Generally?
Yeah, generally. Is it better or worse?
America's worse.
Okay. So even by your own admission, in your own words,
yeah,
America's worse. Then why would you be fearful about going to another country? Because you know America's worse.
Because I got to stay on my square, and I'm from the west side of Chicago, and I'm not gonna get caught slipping.
I understand that, but I just want you to think about my question. I understand what you're saying, but just think about it logically for a minute. You already know America's worse.
Yeah.
But yet you still, and I'm not saying don't be on your square, but you still carrying around a negative connotation, knowing that other places are better.
Yeah, until I only carry that around until I'm back on the plane and I'm safe. Then I can say, you know what? Elliot's damn well right. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful. I had no problems. But until then, I'm gonna go over there as if somebody's gonna try to hit me in the head as I'm walking to a beach or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? I'm not falling for the
I just came from Culver City, California, where I paid $15 for a medium Cold Stone ice cream cone. Okay. And I still walk around like somebody's gonna hit you on the head. Like, here's the thing. Your approach to life probably should not change wherever you go. Just be safe. As far as being fearful outright of other places,
right?
Typically, it's unwarranted. That's all I'm saying. It's typically unwarranted. But only 35% of Americans even have a passport, so it's not like the majority of Americans go anywhere. And when they do go someplace, it's going to be to the Bahamas, to Cancun, to Jamaica, to someplace in the Virgin Islands. You get what I'm trying. Someplace you probably don't even need a passport.
Right. Yeah.
So, it is what it is. I can't really debate it. I can just only say that most people are never going to know. They're never really going to know.
That's true. That's true. Because I told you the story of most people from Chicago. If you live on the west side, the south side, you never even see downtown.
So I just went to Chicago for the first time a few months back, and I called you and said, hey, what's good,
Right.
So I'd never been to Chicago.
Right.
But the reality is I still would kind of have to go out of my way and go, I'm not, you're just not any reasonable person. I'm just saying, you're going to go and you're going to be where you need to be. For some reason, the hoods in the U.S., people are a little bit more entitled.
Right.
And hoods around the world are not, people aren't going around doing bad stuff to people just randomly all the time like it is in the U.S.
Right.
It just don't work like that. And people of color, you'll be fine if you're a person of color.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't stick out. You don't stick out in Brazil and Dominican Republic and Colombia.
Right.
You don't stick out because there's black Colombians, there's black, Argentinians. I mean, people of color, you're all over the world.
Okay.
So I think us as people of color, sometimes we've gotten a little in the US where we kind of feel like we've kind of gotten pedestalized a little bit, where it was like, we think that we forget we have color is what I'm trying to say.
Right. But I think it's the not knowing too, like you say, most people won't ever even see none of these places. So at the end of the day, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, they're not going to go. They're going to go to YouTube and just kind of listen to what people say. And you got to think about it. If you watch YouTube and YouTube shows you one video, it's the algorithm's going to feed you more videos like that.
Oh yeah.
So as soon as you watch the first Passport Bro deletion or whatever, you're going to get 20 more. And that's another thing about, I have heard about that movement or whatever, but again, based on the statistics that I just told you about how many people even have a passport, a Passport Bro movement is not really a movement that's any significance that's going to change the dynamic of relationships in the U.S. anytime soon. But, you know, with that being said, some dynamics will be changed.
Yeah. I played a video before you came on, and this guy, he was explaining like what was going on in these different places with the Passport Bros. So I know you don't want to sit through that, but later, once the video goes on, check out that video, and then we can talk behind the scenes on what you think about that.
Yeah, I mean, people have been traveling. They're going to keep traveling. It doesn't matter what label you put on it, Passport Girl, Passport Bros. These are just things that have come about during the pandemic because of relationship issues in the U.S.
Right.
But, you know, people with means, they can travel. They know how to move, you know, and they learn and they have a good time, whether they go to the club, whether they go to the beach, whether they go to a museum. Doesn't matter. People are going to continue to travel. You know, I think from a relationship perspective, what it is anybody with the means or the gravitas to be able to move a certain kind of way, that takes them off the dating market in the U.S. probably is what it does, because they spend more time not being here.
Right.
So that could have some effect. But as far as it being some major movement, there's not that many people traveling.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming on and giving your perspective. And I hope
now you are trying to kick me off.
No. People in the comments know I don't stay on long. No way. Harlem, New York said, I'm gonna put a comment on the screen. She said, no, Dre only stays for 10 minutes. He's ready to go. but
I was doing yard work and he stopped me from what I'm doing. So now I got to go back out and rate. You know, I'm like, look,
right?
Don't you want to know?
On your time.
Don't you want to know when my next album's something? Tell me something.
I just went to please, man, I'm tripping. Tell the people about your projects and the stuff we trying to get you involved in, you know, and where they can book you.
Guitar Legend. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We got these cool t-shirts and everything, Urban Guitar Legend t-shirts, hoodies. Yeah, I just went to NAMM. I talked to some equipment manufacturers, you know. So hopefully I'll be able to build some relationships with some of the instruments I play.
And I saw the post you posted. Was it Jazzy Jeff?
Yeah, I saw Jazzy Jeff. I was just walking and I said the stupidest thing, man. I'm walking through the crowd and I'm like, you know, there's Jazzy Jeff. So I mean, it's like I was just blown away, of course, and I was all starstruck.
Yeah, he's a legend. He's a legend.
Yeah, and I'm telling him, I'm like, oh, I was just upstairs with DJ Qbert. I was like, you should have been there. My friend is telling me, he's like, you just told Jazzy Jeff he should have been someplace. The party doesn't start till Jazzy Jeff gets there. What are you doing? And I'm like, I wasn't saying it like that. I was saying it like, hey, man, like, I was looking for you. I was asking people, like, has anybody seen DJ Jazzy Jeff? You know?
Right.
He's just a cool dude. I mean, it was just cool. He's as real as they come.
Wow. Yeah,
he's
that's
as real as they come. And
man, what's your website? Give them your website and your Instagram and all that kind of stuff so they can check you out.
They see my screen name, Urban Guitar Legend. Just add a .com on the end of it.
Okay.
.com.
Okay.
I mean,
somebody just said a comment. Let me read it. I think he mentioned you. Oh, so now Elliot trying to stunt. He said, just kidding. Wait a minute, Jazzy Jeff? Nah, he cool. So he was just joking with you.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, trust me, I was I mean, when you meet people, one of the first concerts I ever went to in my life was 1985. Me and my brother went to the Richmond County Civic Center, and we saw Roxanne, UTFO, Houdini, and Ice-T was opening.
All legends. Wow.
Right. But you know, when you go that far back from listening to rap and hip hop, and you remember when Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff was transforming, you know, with his scratching, like
Right.
when that was new, like when it's just to say he's a legend is beyond, you know, it's like he really contributed in a big way as so many others. So it was just to see him and shake his hand, I was like, wow, like it was cool.
Yeah,
It was
man.
cool.
Yeah, man.
So
again, man, thanks for stopping through. I know I got you from your yard work. My apologies, but I appreciate it. But I do want to have you on for different topics, man, when you're available, because I like your perspective on things. You know what I'm saying?
man, just have me on, man. I'm boring. You're not gonna get very many views with me being on.
Oh no, it's all good.
I
I
can tell
think
you
I
that
will.
right now. No
I think I
controversy.
will get a lot of views. I think I actually will. All right, fam. I appreciate you.
All right, Bubba.
All right, now.
Peace.
Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Harlem, New York, and all you guys. I was here for an hour. I was here for an hour. But I should be back tomorrow morning. You did. And we'll chop it up. And you are welcome, Harlem, New York. Thank you very much. And I look forward to seeing you guys the next time. So till then, I'm out.